In the previous video about trigonometry, we learned how to find a side length using the trigonometric ratios if you're giving the angles. But if we have the sides and need to find the angles, what are we going to do? On your calculator, you should see right above the sine, cosine, tan buttons, notations along the lines of sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tan inverse. These means the inverse functions of the sine, cosine, and tan. These are what you will use to find angles from ratios. The inverse trigonometric ratios can be used to find the angle of a right triangle when given two sides of the triangle. So, we can get the theta, which is the angle, using the sine inverse, which is the opposite over hypotenuse, and cosine inverse, adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan inverse, opposite over adjacent. Here is an example. Use a calculator to find measure of angle A to the nearest tenth. We have the side adjacent to A, which is 3 centimeters, and we have the hypotenuse of the triangle, which is 15. So what is the relation between the adjacent and the hypotenuse? It is the cosine. So we're going to use the inverse cosine. Using the calculator to find the inverse cosine of 1 over 5, the angle measure A equals 78.5 degrees. To solve a right triangle means to know all three sides and all three angles of this triangle. To solve a right triangle, you need to know either two side lengths or one side length and the measure of one acute angle. Here is an example. You are given triangle RST. Solve this right triangle. From the diagram here, we have two side lengths. ST 6 and RT is 9. RT is the hypotenuse and 6 is one of the legs. We also know one angle, which is the right angle, that is S. So to solve the triangle means to find the other two angles, which are T and R, and also to find the missing side RS. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the two sides given, which is the leg 6 and the hypotenuse 9, to find the angle R. That is, the sine of R is 6 over 9, and so the measure of angle R is the sine inverse 6 over 9. Now we have the measures of two angles, which are R and S. S is the 90 degrees and R is the 41.8 degrees. To find the last measure angle, T, you will subtract 90 minus 41.8 to get 48.2 degrees. The last missing side is RS. To find RS, we are going to use Pythagorean theorem. That is RS squared plus ST squared equals RT squared. And the answer, as you see here, it will be 6.7. Now try to solve this triangle by yourself, then check your answers.